Hello Aquarius, welcome in. My name is Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be your monthly reading for May. Keep in mind, timing and energy is still fluid, so this could play out at any point in time throughout the month of May. The message may or may not be for you, so just take what resonates, leave behind the rest. Also keep in mind, this is for any major Aquarius placement: Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. So if the message doesn't resonate, check your other signs and placements. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel, though, if you have not done so already. Don't forget to like the video, comment on the video, share the videos, especially if you resonate with the message. It helps circulate the content. It helps the channel to grow. Just a nice, free, easy way to support me. Okay, let's get into it, Aquarius. I am using the Hearts Hidden Secret deck to start off today. So let's see what the hidden secret is for you. We get abandoned and distance. Okay, keep in mind, this could be you. This could be energy connected to you, but you or somebody you're connected to is feeling left out. You might need to walk away from somebody, or maybe somebody walked away from you and left you out in the cold and abandoned you, but I feel a mask. We get the distance. So there is some type of separation going on here. I feel some type of distance or space between you and maybe somebody that abandoned you. This is connected to love with the roses on the card, and so somebody is bluffing. There is a big blockage here. So let's see what else needs to come through for you, Aquarius. Messages for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. Please feel free to check out the membership side of the program, guys, or of the channel, guys. There is a membership side now. So if you don't see a join button on the home page, there is just a description below with the join link if you'd like to become a channel member. I go live every Thursday over there at noon Eastern Standard Time. So come and join us over there on the other side. But there is definitely a family situation coming through here. And it's time to just let go of the bitterness. I do feel somebody is harboring bitterness over a rejection. And so there's a distance here between you and somebody. I also feel there's a need to create closure. I do feel there's distance. There's a separation. And so this could be like a long-standing separation of a family foundation. Who knows? Maybe your parents got divorced. I don't know. But there is bitterness over a rejection. So this could be you. This could be somebody that you had to reject. So somebody here is working through feelings of anger, resentment. Maybe you had to say some hurtful words. Maybe you said hurtful words. Maybe somebody said hurtful words to you. But I also feel like a dismissed or abandoned energy creating irrational fear. There is a final ending here, though. So it's like the final nail in the coffin. And so it's time to leave something behind. Maybe it's time to leave the bitterness behind. Maybe it's time to leave a past rejection behind, to release a past separation. Okay, so there's distance here. There's also this energy, I feel, of somebody reliving the past and the dark night of the soul when it comes to an established family foundation. And it's okay to get divorced. It is okay to get divorced. It's not okay to stay in a family situation just because of the financial security. And so maybe somebody's way off track here. Maybe it's time to get back on track. But I do feel there's a blockage due to holding on to bitterness over a rejection. And so let's face it, rejection isn't good, right? Rejection doesn't feel good. Nobody likes to be told no. Nobody wants to be rejected. It does create overwhelming feelings of being dismissed, of abandonment. And so I feel there is some type of realization here going on to create a new understanding. And so maybe this ending, this separation, was a part of your awakening. And so I think it's time to just release the past is a big message. So release the bitterness. I don't think you can go back. I think it's time to create closure. I think it's been a long journey. I feel this Fool energy coming through, and we know the Fool only takes a little backpack, leaves behind all of the baggage, and takes that leap of faith. You can't go into a new cycle holding on to the bitterness of a past rejection or a past ending, because family security can come in many forms. And so I feel an epiphany, a new understanding of the awakening process. And so maybe you needed this separation to create space for you to recognize where you create your own blocks, or where maybe you create distance within relationships as well. And so I do feel there's a need to recognize where maybe there's an underlying fantasy or illusion of wanting to get back together with somebody. There's a need to stop spying if you're doing that. But I think there's just a need to stop looking back. Leave the past in the past where it belongs. Leave the past behind. So I don't know who that's for, but let's keep going here. Let's jump in with the tarot. And let's see what else needs to come through for you, Aquarius. Oh my goodness, we got some swords coming through here. We get the 8 of Swords and the 5 of Swords in reverse. There's the 3 of Swords here at play. I think it's just time to leave the past behind, to just have that final farewell. Doesn't mean you have to have a face-to-face with somebody, but this isn't serving you. Something here is not serving you. You are definitely stuck. You can be free. You're already free, I feel. All you got to do is choose to be free. It's like you've already walked through the doorway of a new cycle, but there's still an underlying 3 of Swords here that needs to be released. And so that's where we might hold that bitterness and that resentment. And so, you know, hurtful words too. How's that saying go? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I don't know. I think sticks and stones hurt a little bit less than hurtful words, right? That really stays with us. But I do feel it's time for you to release an attachment to an ending, is what it feels like. So maybe you've not been seeing things clearly. You got to stop spying. If you're looking back at the past, you can never really heal. You can't heal by keep going back to the same thing or looking back at what broke you. You have to keep looking forward. And so maybe it's time to take one last look at the past and bid it farewell and complete that closure for yourself. And so irrational fear is an illusion. And so in life, many people will reject us. So I think it's time to find a new attraction, to stop looking, maybe to gain new information and new ways of being. Maybe this has affected your whole social group and your social network too, which is also why there's some underlying anger. But let's do 9 cards here, Aquarius, and let's see what else needs to come through. There's something here that is deluding you. The Ace of Swords in reverse, the 4 of Wands. You're not looking at a foundation clearly. You're not seeing this clearly. Maybe you're looking back and you're thinking it was abundant. You put a lot of hard work into this family situation. It was a burden. I think you need to release the illusion of that being a happily ever after or a happy home situation. I think it was a burdensome situation, and you're not looking at things clearly. We get the Page of Cups, and so I think there was a lot of inner child wounds brought into this situation. And I do think you're still holding on to some past emotions and maybe thinking if I open up my heart, it can still work. But I think that the message is there was no victory there. There was some type of an illusion, and it's time to move on. It's time to move on to the next cycle, the next foundational cycle. It's time to release the old cycle. The 4 of Coins in reverse, the 10 of Coins in reverse. There was a distortion when it comes to a belief about a foundation. And so I do feel a need to recognize that it might have looked good on the outside, but it really was not an enriching and rewarding family life. And so maybe it was because you knew this person since you were a child, but there is a dream-like quality, a fantasizing, imagining, daydreaming quality. And I do feel this was never meant to last the long haul. It was always meant to be released. We get the 4 of Swords in reverse. And so there's like a 3 of Swords in reverse. A need to release the block on the heart. A need to get honest here. There's that Queen of Swords in reverse. That's your energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And the 5 of Michael in reverse. Lots of swords. So there is a situation here that isn't serving you. There is a need to recognize your attachment to this ending. There's so much bitterness to an ending is what I'm feeling. Aquarius, and you already know this. I do feel there is anger, there's resentment, there might be hurtful words coming out. There might have been hurtful words that came out during that last Mercury retrograde. But I feel there's a deep lack of healing, and maybe you're receiving insights, but it's coming in with clouded judgment. I think get ready to go head to head with somebody. There's that block. There's that blockage. I do think it would just be better if you stopped poking the bear, is what I want to say. Gain that new perspective about an emperor. I think this could be an ex-husband or soon to be ex-husband. I'm not sure. But I do feel there's anger. I think you're looking at this person, it looks like they got it all. And so maybe this is an ex-husband, though, that is in a Knight of Cups, Queen of Wands reverse situation. I'm not sure. But there's anger here. I think there's anger. Because I do feel maybe there was an ending and this person is now in another foundation. And it looks like they're in a committed relationship, but it doesn't really feel that healthy either. So there's a couple of things going on here. There is a need to just release the past. Stop looking back. Stop looking back at a past relationship. If this is like an ex-husband. The Emperor reverse usually is a stand-up guy that takes charge. But I do feel there's like an underlying Knight of Cups energy attached to this Emperor, which is very juvenile, very young. It's the energy of, hey, I like to come and sweep people off of their feet. I like to say, hey, I'm this big wig. I'm this strong, masculine energy. But they really are looking for a weak woman. And I do feel we've got somebody here that I think is throwing a tantrum because they're not getting what they want. And so I think it's time to just see the lightheartedness of the situation. The divine, I think, is saying it's time to search for deeper meaning. And if a relationship didn't last, it probably wasn't meant to. And so surround yourself with wise friends, but there is a release, right? And I also feel like there's so much fear about giving to something new. But when we give, we also receive. And so there's something extreme going on here. So let's clarify the Four of Coins in reverse. So I just feel like you've really struggled releasing this. So this could have been a divorce or an ending with a life partnership from 4 years ago. And you've been stuck on the past for maybe the last 4 years. And it's kind of time to just get really real with yourself. It's time to move on. I think you've been holding on, over analyzing a situation and avoiding really doing the deep dive into the emotions. There's going to be a sudden change. We get the Knight of Swords reversed, the King of Cups upright, and the Ten of Michael. And so I also feel there was like an unexpected betrayal. And so this has taken you a while to release it, because I think at one point in time, this was somebody that you completely trusted. And I think there's just a lot of things happening in May to get you to heal the remnants of a broken heart, is what it feels like. And so I do think coming out of disillusionment, I think at one point in time, you thought this was it. You thought this was your 10 of Cups. You thought this was your happily ever after. And I think there's still some residual heart pain that needs to be worked through when it comes to a final ending. So you can go towards a new beginning for happiness. And so put your best foot forward. Put the past behind you. Heal your heart. It takes time. It takes time to heal all wounds. I forget where I read the article. It's been years now since I read this article somewhere, that it takes you half the time that you were with that person to heal from that ending. Usually, if you actually choose to consciously do the healing work. So say if you were in a marriage for 10 years, it's going to take you 5 years to work through the residual pain. Grief is a process. It doesn't just happen overnight. It is a process. And so I feel it's been a process, but it is time for you to take those next steps, to plan towards the future, to go towards something new, to take those steps. And so I think the decision has already been made. I do feel a release of looking back at third party. And you know what? Sometimes people make poor decisions. I don't think you can go back. I don't think there's any going back. And so a new understanding of what the purpose of this connection was in order maybe for your awakening. And so you do have a decision. There was some type of trauma here that played out, which created maybe a trauma bonded cycle of spying and looking back and gaining information, wanting to know everything. And it can become an obsession when we go through a very traumatic, betraying ending. And so maybe there was like a loss of community too. And I feel maybe April is the month, or April, maybe April, something did come through in April, but I feel May is the month that you see the silver lining and you understand a deeper layer of this ending. So there's unnecessary worry here about moving forward. Hey, let's face it, not everything works out the way that we expected it to. That's life. Life is constantly changing. So I do feel you need to recognize too maybe where you self-sabotage by holding on to attachments to outcomes. So let's clarify the Five of Michael in reverse. I do feel you're learning to recognize where you self-sabotage. And look at that. And you're becoming independent. And so big lesson in putting in the hard work of healing codependencies, I feel. And walking away from things that no longer serve you. And this could be a belief, this could be a mindset, this could be where you self-sabotage, where you maybe have so much attachment to an outcome, it pushes people away. But I do feel there's something so much better waiting for you after you release this. And so what is it that you need to do right now? Because you are on a spiritual quest, and a love for life and beautiful things always starts from self. And I do feel you're coming out of the dark night of the soul. You're walking away from this sense of lack and abandonment. And so you don't have to go through things alone, through challenges alone, through life alone. Sometimes we do have to walk just the path ourselves, though with God and our angels and the guides. Help is always nearby. You need only ask. But I do feel you're all done creating self-fulfilling prophecies of self-sabotaging cycles is what it feels like. So you're no longer going to sabotage relationships. You're going to recognize a healthy connection. You're dedicated to calling in a kindred soul. And so allow the divine to guide you. I do feel it's time to start sharing what you gained during this cycle of spiritual growth. And it's time to plant those seeds towards what it is you do want to accomplish. And I think you're watched over. There's like a guardian angel watching over you here as you go towards a new beginning. I think it's really time just to get to work, to really put in the work, to know that it's time to start inspiring success in other people's lives as well. So let's get a spiritual journey oracle message. Let's close it off because I do think you're learning to be more self-reliant. You're probably gaining insights. So what is the closing message for Aquarius? You could be dealing with a Scorpio, a Capricorn, a Gemini, Virgo. It could be dealing with a Leo. But we're going to see what the closing message is. Aries, Pisces. What do we got for Aquarius? Ascension sickness. And so I feel you're journeying into higher states of consciousness. And you're breaking the chains of a toxic cycle here. So you are choosing to purge and cleanse anything in your life that isn't serving your spiritual quest, your spiritual journey. And so there might be a negative physical manifestation playing out as you go into these higher states of consciousness. So there's a person or a past memory or attachment that can't stay. It needs to be purged. So meditate, center yourself. Break the chains. It always begins with a choice. You have to choose to walk away. And the divine is saying there's more meaning out there. There's more meaningful connections out there. So stop spying on the past. Create your own social network. Take charge of a situation because there's third-party attachments here. I think peers got in the mix. And it's time to take back your power. Release the past. Take back your power. And that's what I have for you, Aquarius. I really hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you'd like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, check out the description box below. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.